Hi, I'm Joanne Couling. I teach chemistry, AP chemistry and AP physics, and this is Teacher Features. So we've been implementing in the science department some what we call lab portfolios, which are, it's a website where students can put their lab reports, and we call them a lab portfolio because they can essentially then become part of a student's e-portfolio. And what we're doing is, instead of having a formal lab write-up, which has previously been on paper or a Word document that's been submitted, we decided to expand to allow the students to use more technology in their labs. And you can see that some of the students have taken photographs, they've taken videos. It's allowed them to have that evidence when they go home, and then they're analyzing their evidence and their data. They can actually refer back to the videos and photographs that they've taken, and then they can evaluate their data in a much more detailed way. And the students have been having a great time with the e-portfolios because they can make them fun and creative, but also very professional. This is the front page of Ashley's, and she's got some fun details here about herself. And then if we click further into her site, we can see that she's put a couple of labs up that she's done so far, and these are a little more formal, more professional, and she's still got the fun part that demonstrates some of her on the front page. And you can see here she's got all the details that would go into a normal written lab, but with some pictures added to make it more interesting for the reader. It also allows the students to move away from the question and answer evaluation or analysis of data that has been historically used in lab write-ups, and it allows the presentation of the lab to look more like it was more the student's idea rather than, oh, let's just answer some questions that were asked in the post-lab document. And so it makes the whole lab more personal and less like an assignment, and it's more a demonstration of the actual lab work that the students have done. And you can see here that Ashley has chosen to take photographs of her calculations and upload those as images. Other students, you'll see in a second, other students actually do the work on the site and show you their calculations that way. So it allows some individuality while still conforming to a traditional lab write-up, but in a much more interesting way for the student and for the reader. What will happen at the end of the year is that students will have the opportunity to remove any of the labs that they didn't like, or some may have gone wrong, they may not have got the results that they wanted, they may have struggled with some of the calculations. So at the end of the year they can remove those from their site, and so that it really does become a portfolio of their best work. Or of course they can go back and improve those so that they're all of the highest standard possible. And the things that the students have really benefited from with doing their labs by this method rather than a traditional paper and pen method is that it's a work in progress. They can, I'll look at their sites, they'll get feedback from me and on suggested improvements, and then they can go back and edit and improve, and so that it ends up being the best piece of work that it could possibly be for them. This is the same class. Again, we're still in AP chemistry. The regular chemistry students do this also. These that happen to be AP chemistry ones. And the thing that's particularly nice about this one, you can see this one has calculations shown rather than photographs, is that this one has a video that is attached. In this one, these students actually videoed their whole lab, and then the whole lab here has been uploaded as part of the as the video of the lab and up onto the ePortfolio too. It's fantastic, yeah. We've also been doing this, the AP Physics students do this too, also the anatomy and the kinesiology students are all using this method for submitting their lab. One of the benefits that we've noticed, or I've noticed as we've been assessing these e-portfolios and the students have been working on them for a couple of months, is that it's removed the copying issue that we've had in the past, where students have shared data, submitted answers as their own when they actually came from somebody else. I think because these e-portfolios or these lab portfolios are so personal to the student that we're finding that they're very individual. Of course they're sharing data, but they're presenting it in their own individual way because it's their own site, and it's absolutely taken away for me as a grader any implications that there might be some sharing of work that's not their own. And I think one of the reasons is because instead of students turning in something to the teacher, what they're doing is inviting you to go to something that is actually theirs, and that is what's making the difference.